What's up, everyone? We are live at 5 at Broadway.com. It is Monday, September 10th. I'm Paul Juan Torek.
And I'm Eric King.
Hey, Eric. Good to see you.
Oh, we've never done this before.
We've never been together before.
Hi.
And over there's Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And by the way, behind the camera, you can't see him, is Kyle Gaskell. And today's his birthday.
Yay!
Did you put a camera on yourself when I said that? You didn't do it live. Okay. And, oh my God, we have an amazing guest here today. Who is here?
Oh my gosh, it's Hailey Kilgore.
Yes!
On this island. She's back.
Timoon in the house. We always love when Timoon's in the house. But first, we will talk to her. But first, today's top 5.
3 new EGOTs were crowned last night.
Yeah, so the Creative Arts Emmys were last night, and we've got...
You're obsessed with EGOTs.
I love EGOTs. Like my EGOT
You're obsessed.
radar was on. And so Andrew Lloyd Webber, John Legend, and Tim Rice, who were all executive producers for Jesus Christ Superstar Live on NBC.
Yep.
That was in April, right?
Yeah.
So they all won for being
Easter Sunday.
Yeah, so they all won for being executive producers, completing their quadruple crown of Emmy, Tony...
Do it in order.
EGOT.
Sorry, Grammy, Emmy,
Grammy.
Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
I had a moment where I was like, what do you mean John Legend won a Tony?
Yeah.
But I remember. I was
Jitney.
reminded.
Jitney.
I was corrected. He was a producer.
Okay, so yeah, and Mark Platt, the late Craig Zidane, Neil Maron, Mike
Zidane.
Jackson, Ty Stick-Glorious,
Yeah.
Alex Rudinsky, and Javier Winnick also share this win. A legend. They became the 13th, 14th, and 15th EGOT winners.
That's it? There's only 15?
A small club.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a teeny club. And there are also a few extra EGOT winners, but those weren't in competitive categories, one of which includes Barbra Streisand.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So yeah, and John Legend, this is also an interesting tidbit. John Legend becomes the first black man to reach this status.
Yes.
Which is pretty interesting.
Amazing.
Obviously Andrew Lloyd Webber has won a Grammy for Evita.
Yeah.
He also won a Tony for Sunset Boulevard.
Won an Oscar for Evita.
He won, yeah, and then
And the Grammy?
Yeah, and the score, the cast album won a Grammy too.
Killing it.
So yeah,
Nailed
really
it.
happy for all three of them.
Awesome.
Hey. And a screen favorite is making her Broadway debut.
Tatiana Maslany, is that who
Yes,
you're talking about?
yes.
Orphan Black star.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
She was just in Mary Page Marlowe, big hit
Off
off Broadway. And now she's coming to Broadway in network. This is going to be awesome, you guys. My Facebook has been flooded with network ads. Are you getting these?
Yeah, a few.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'm getting a lot of social media ads for
The
network.
rise, it's on the rise, and obviously this
It's
role,
a lot.
This role was played by Michelle Dockery in London.
The role of Diana, famously played by Faye Dunaway in the film. Rent the film, kids. It's such a good movie.
I'm one of those kids.
So good.
I've never seen it work.
Anyway, Bryan Cranston, of course, is in it again. Did it in London with Michelle Dockery and won an Olivier Award.
Yeah.
And now it's coming to Broadway, to the Belasco now instead of the Court.
Switch
Yeah.
up, change up.
Shows get booked for the Court. It's like a holding spot, and then they move. It also happened at the prom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened at the prom.
They keep the Court warm, and then they move somewhere else. So anyway, it's not the Court anymore. Written by Lee Hall, directed by Ivo Van Hove, who is working on West Side Story, and we can't wait for that. That's a few years away. Anyway, it starts November 10th. We can't wait.
Yes. And Horace Green is getting a new principal, but this time it's a familiar face.
That's right. Mamie Paris, fresh off her run in Dave in Washington, D.C. She used to play Patty in School of Rock. She originated that role, and now she's going to be Principal Rosalie Mullins. So, yeah, we're really...
She never played Rosalie before?
She understudied.
Oh, okay, right. And then she was Grisabella.
Yeah.
She
Right.
went from
She's
that to
Grisabella.
Grisabella. Right, okay.
So she will start on September 25th. She's taking over for Catherine McLaughlin, who will play her last performance on September 23rd. And yeah, she's been in Cats, as we said, Grisabella on the 20th Century, Ragtime, 110 in the Shade, Drowsy Chaperone. So I'm sure they're really happy to have her back. And
It's a few more months.
A few more months. School of Rock will be closing January 20th, 2019.
And this Tony-winning musical is a certified box office success.
Everyone who put money in the band's visit will now make their money back.
Yes.
It's a recoupment. It's a big, exciting thing. It costs $8.75 million.
That seems...
I can't tell how much.
that a lot
Broadway
or
shows
not?
are
Seems to you
expensive.
low?
Broadway shows are expensive. It won, of course, 10 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, and it's been open for about a year. It started October 7th, and it's recouped. So congratulations, all you smart investors. Keep investing in Broadway.
Yes.
And you know what? It's even better the second time, so I recommend going and seeing it again.
There we go.
Did you see Saint-Gobain?
I did see Saint-Gobain.
I'm so proud I learned how to say
Yes,
that.
you did it.
I'm just showing off.
Late night Sasan.
He's wonderful.
And 2 former Kims are headed to the big screen together.
That's right. Maybe Broadway.com secreted this pair up when we did our feature for Broadway Across America in the Miss Saigon tour, because we had Lea Salonga here, Emily Bautista, and Eva Noblezada for that photo
That's
shoot.
how movies get made, because that means
that's how
Hailey
they get made.
Kilgore and LaShawn are doing a movie together.
Oh, great. Can't
Yeah,
wait.
so we'd
Let's
like to
work
break
on
that news now.
Anyway,
No, we're
go
just
ahead.
kidding.
Go ahead.
So there's an upcoming movie musical called Yellow Rose, and they're both going to be in it. Eva Noblezada is going to play a young Filipino-American teenager from Texas who dreams of becoming a country music icon and must learn to fend for herself and choose her passions when her mother is detained by ICE. Lea Salonga, so yeah, pretty relevant. Lea Salonga will play her aunt, and the film has been in development for 15 years. Wow, it's directed by Diane Paraga, and she's also scoring the film, so it's a musician-director combination. Cast also includes Liam Booth, Gustavo Gomez, Libby Villare, and Princess Punzalan.
Oh, fancy name.
So we are looking forward to that for sure.
My dream is that there's like a scene where they walk by a theater and Miss Saigon's playing. I just want some sort of reference to Miss Saigon.
Give us a Miss Saigon reference.
A poster.
on the wall.
Sun and Moon playing in the background.
I don't know. Something.
Something.
No, we got to work on that Hailey LaShawn's movie. We're going to talk to her about that.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Hey,
Erin.
happy to be here.
Thank you for reporting the news. Good
Will do.
job.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Great
Your
job.
stripes,
Okay.
your stripes conflict with the stripes, or match. I
Match.
don't know.
It could be
I don't know,
both.
but I like them.
We
Maybe
like
it was
them.
fun.
No, it's fun. You just blend in.
I'll get out of the way.
Hey, Kaylin, why don't you tell us more about today's guest?
Yes. Guys, we have Hailey in the studio with us today. She's currently starring in the Tony-winning revival of Once on This Island. She was out of the production for a little bit to heal up, but now she's back dancing on the island as T Moon. She earned a Tony nomination for this, and she won the Theater World Award. So she's pretty incredible. And this is her Broadway debut, so we got a lot to look forward to from her. Please leave all your questions in the comments down below and follow her on social media at Hailey F. Kilgore. Everyone, please welcome Paul and Hailey.
Hi, Hailey Kilgore. So good to see you.
I'm excited to be back.
I know, it's been a couple months. We like to have you here at the Broadway.com studio.
Yes,
every
I
once in a
love
while.
being here.
You can stop in whenever you want.
Yes.
You're back. You're back on the island. You came
Yes.
back last week, right?
Yes.
What the heck happened? You heard? I was watching it on social media. I was feeling for you, going through it with you. Tell me about your life over the last couple months.
Oh my gosh, it's been so crazy. She broke her foot. And it was
Did
the
that
most-
hurt?
Yeah, it's so crazy because I was in a scene that my adrenaline was already going, so I actually didn't initially know that I did it until I took a step on the floor. Well, we're on sand, so it's uneven ground, and then I took a step on the hard floor, and I was like, snap, ouch, that really hurts. But the last few months, I've just been, doing stuff.
Right, stuff not being on the island, but doing other things.
Doing things and moving. I moved.
Oh,
I did an
okay.
an adulting type thing.
Yep.
And lots of keeping my foot up, elevated, resting.
Is that hard? Did you watch a lot of TV? Did you binge a lot of TV?
Yeah, I watched a lot of TV. I always watch Breaking Bad. That's my go-to.
Over and over, repetitive. Like you would just I'm gonna do season 4 again. Like you just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I love Bryan Cranston.
so you must be excited about Network.
So-
Oh, you are. Okay, yeah.
So I was watching that. What else did I watch? I watched Rise. I watched a lot of stuff. Which is so crazy because I make fun of my mom for watching all these TV shows. And I'm like, what do you do? And now I'm like, oh yeah, well I was watching this episode.
So you caught up.
Yes.
So what's it like? I know. Didn't you go see Once on This Island right before you came back? I saw you put up video. Weren't you in the audience?
Yeah,
I
I
saw
got to
your
see
curtain
it.
call video. You put up video. Yeah. What was it like watching? How many times have you seen the show from the audience? I mean, have you been able to see other people do it? And
since my injury, I've seen it 7 times.
oh wow, okay.
So what I
you've been
like to do
around.
is I liked making my weekly check-ins and just taking notes for myself, sitting in different areas. I actually got to watch the show from the stage manager's booth.
Wow.
So I got a
Where's
completely
that?
different. It's all the way up in the back,
Okay, in the
like
back.
in the very back row behind the water.
Okay. Yep.
Behind the bomb.
Right.
And so I took lots of notes for myself, and all those. If we're in the round, we don't really get to see the conductor. We don't really get stage marks. So to be able to see the different lighting.
What's your favorite spot to see it from?
Oh,
you're an expert now.
I think like my personal favorite spot is probably up next to Agwe, up above the Vom, because then you can look down and see what's kind of happening all over the stage. And they also, for Merle's final show, they put me like right in the third row from the sand. So that was also really fun, because then I was like, oh, now I know what it feels like to get hit in the face with sand by Alex's skirt after Mama. It's so much fun. It's a big party, and like it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because wow, to be able to experience that story with other people is really amazing.
Yeah, what do you learn from being in the audience, from watching it? Because you opened in the show a year ago. You were in rehearsals, right? And then you've just been chugging along, and you've been amazing, and an award season was so crazy, and all that madness, and then you actually get like a little break, an unexpected break, and then you get to sort of take it in and watch your family and see other people play your role. What does all that do to you?
It really just helps you to grow, honestly, and learn. And you see, we have three women who are playing Ti Moon right now. It was Lauren Lott who stepped in for me full time, and then we have Anna and Courtney, and they're all so different, and they all tell the story so beautifully. And Lauren is hilarious. Her Ti Moon is hilarious, and she can sing the crap out of that show. And so it was like to be able to see other people step into that role that you love and you nurture and you want to hold on to. It's really cool, and it's really informative for sure.
Were you doing it at home, like without maybe Ti Moon's big dance? Were you doing some of it at home? Were you singing it at home every night? Were you singing "Waiting for Life" at 8:12 every night, or whatever time that happened?
It's so, as an actor, it's the craziest thing is when we're not in the show, but we know that the show is running. For me, I keep track of half hour. We have such a specific half hour because the cast comes out whenever.
It's like a pre-show.
We
Get
don't
there
have
early.
like a start. So I was like, okay, they just called Kenita, they just called David, they just called Alex, and it's like, oh my gosh, I know everybody's call time every night. And even when we were getting to the last week before I was going back, it was like I was still
amazing.
Yeah, I still knew what was going on.
So what movie musical could you do with LaShawne's?
Okay, it would be a remake, but it's my dream because it's the first like real movie musical that I saw.
What?
Was Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney.
Oh, right. Right.
I would love to sing. Ooh, maybe a con. I'm gonna message you.
Well, I also secreted. I said it when we did that interview, but I secreted a gypsy with you too. So I just want to put that out there too. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Yes, just keep putting it into.
Whenever there's a camera near me or something, I'm just gonna say I like the idea of you two doing gypsy. That'd be fun. I'm into that.
Of course, I'll do anything with her. Honestly,
anything. She's
been very supportive and just so kind, and she's a light, that's something that I really aspire to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So look at you. You're like a Broadway star now. You're like a regular. Do you feel? How do you feel? Do you feel different after a year on Broadway?
No. Okay, this is why. Because you still have to show up and do the work.
Right.
And you still have something to learn, and you still have something to deliver. And the one thing that I learned that I was so like blessed to learn is, you start a show, especially now with social media and media in general, everything kind of blows up and starts going really, really fast and is very overwhelming. And I'm only 19, so that's just even more overwhelming. And I just want to be on stage, and especially after being told that I actually literally physically could not be on stage, it's like what it is for me is being able to be there for the people who come in to experience the story. So
By the way, I feel like I haven't properly said during this interview yet that this is one of my favorite shows ever. And this production is stunning. It's the Broadway.com #1 show of last year, but it's still going. So it's still our #1 show. We love Once on This Island. It's an incredible show. And if you haven't seen it yet, you have to, because I mean, you've seen it as an audience member. You know how good it is.
It's wonderful. And Paul brought his parents.
I did, mom and dad. Yeah.
So like, yeah.
That's true. I don't bring mom and dad to everything. That's true.
He said, "Oh, by the way, I know you've seen me like 3 times. This is my mom and my dad."
Actual fan, not just an on-camera fan. Hey, Caitlin, what are the people out there asking?
Oh, yes. Okay, so Sid asks, now, do you do the show differently now that you've seen it as an audience member?
That's a good question, Sid. I don't think I do it differently. I think I do it with a little bit more knowledge of just how it's going to be received and what's heard and what's seen. I really didn't want to change very much. But also, with that knowledge of what's happening on stage, there's also the knowledge of like, I now know what it's going to be, so I can't do it like I know what's going to happen. So yeah.
Love it. Oh, this is a really funny question. David asked, he said, "Love seeing the show. The night we saw it, a bunch of teen girls gasped when, spoiler alert, Daniel returns the locket. Have you had a favorite audience reaction that you can recall?"
The last time I went with my parents, there was like a school group there, and they were all squealing, and they were all up in the romance.
Oh no.
They were loving it.
I think my favorite is we had a Haitian family come to see the show, and he did that moment, and the woman goes, "Just kill him already." And I was like, oh. And it took everything in both Isaac. So Isaac's eyes in that moment went, like, what are we supposed to do right now? Because then everybody was like, really? But that's like my favorite audience interaction that I've like had on stage. Just kill him already.
It'd be great if it became like a Rocky Horror thing, and that was like something everybody yelled out at that moment.
Or just they turn into the ghosts during the cacophony that are whispering to her. Everybody has to do that.
Amazing. Okay, so
how are the goats? Are there new goats?
No, Sparky and Peapod they're doing great.
Oh, okay.
They're doing great.
Checking in on them.
Yep.
Making sure.
check. The goats are still good. Love it.
The chickens are great. Still laying eggs.
Okay.
Still very happy.
Great.
Yep.
I love it. Okay, so you mentioned that there's different call times for the half hour. Do you have a pre-show ritual, and what is that like?
Yeah. It's very long and boring. I show up to the theater. I like to be there an hour before. So our half hour is actually at the hour, because people will go out gradually. So what I like to do is I like to do a full body stretch. And then vocal warm-ups. I go in and visit our musical director, Alvin Huff Jr., and run through a few things, and then I try not to talk.
Sing a few things. When you say run through a few things? Yeah.
Yeah, we sing Forever Yours and Waiting for Life.
Okay.
And because I started thinking about this while I was watching and observing. It's really good to go out and be in the sand, especially for my physical body, because my foot is still not healed 100% because I'm a horrible person and I'm such an actor, and I just came back to the show because I absolutely had to, and my heart needed to be there. So it's that, and then makeup, wig prep, go down, get my mic and my wig. I go and visit everybody in the theater, and love on them whether they want me to or not. I'm always in there. Hello. And yeah, and then I do my show. I'm the last person to go on stage of everyone. So I get a full warm up, which is great. You should always warm up. Warm up.
Warm up.
That's when you don't, that's when injuries happen. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I like your glasses, by the way.
Thank you. I'm blind.
They're cute. I like them.
Thank you.
Big fan. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. We have a lot of questions asking you to describe Isaac's eyebrows.
Okay.
In 3 words or less.
3 words.
This is your co-star, your leading man. Yes. Very famous for his eyebrows.
Yeah. Full. Energetic. There's lots of this that happens on
Love
stage.
it.
A lot of choreography.
Yes.
Eyebrowography.
Browography.
Browography.
I think a lot. What's the word? Honest. A lot of his truth comes from his eyebrows and his eyes, which is amazing. But like, he gives me like, I thought you understood, and it's like, if he doesn't, I'm like, are you okay? Like, if he gives me like I'm like, is he all right? So yeah, we love Isaac's brows. Well, I love Isaac in general, but yeah,
The brows are special.
yeah. Actually, wasn't it like a week ago last year that our fall preview
Yes.
came out?
Yes, when I first met you. When I first met you two,
room.
we shot you two in this room. Those photos are still some of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
You're hanging up in my office.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love Once on This Island. I was very excited to meet Timoon and Daniel. Are you kidding me? It was like very exciting. Yeah, that was a little over a year ago that you became a Broadway.com regular.
Yes. And now they're
Heck
like,
yeah.
will you please just not come back? Don't come back.
We want you back all the time. Okay, let's do one more question. Wayne asked, what was going through your mind during your Tony's performance?
Which was amazing.
Amazing.
That was like such an amazing performance.
The Tonys were the best night of my life. And I was sitting 5 rows behind Billy Joel, and it was the best thing ever. And actually, before I ran out, I was thinking, oh my God, he's only like 4 rows back, so I'm going to be able to see Billy Joel staring at me. That was like one of the things I was thinking before I ran out.
I'm a big Billy Joel fan.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So it was that, and then Bernadette Peters and Leslie Odom Jr. were right next to each other in the front row. And so I ran out and I did this like pan, and I was like, and he was like Leslie does this like, ooh.
Here we go.
And I was like, yeah! But it was that performance was so fun. It was such a whirlwind. The one thing that we all said right after we came off stage was, we were like, can we just do it again? Like, it goes so fast. And
All of us at home felt the same way.
It was like, and the other thing was, I didn't get to see the cast at all. Other than on stage for the performance, because I was in the audience.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even with them when we won.
Yeah.
Which that moment also was like
crazy.
I have never seen my dad jump up so quick in my entire. My dad is grumpy. Walter White, y'all know Walter White from Breaking Bad, like grumpy old man. That's my dad. So
I
the
bet
fact
your
that
dad. I don't know about that,
like,
but.
And I was like, and just crying, and Michael like grabbed me in, and Lynn and Steven were there, and
Aaron's
Diego was there.
Yeah. It was a big moment.
Big moment.
It was a big moment.
And then I forgot that my category was like right after that, and I was supposed to be in my chair, and everybody was like, "Where's Hailey Kilgore?" And I was
like, "I already won."
I'm holding the Tony. She's backstage holding the Tony. But that night, I know you were asking specifically about the performance, but that whole night was magical and a whirlwind, and I met so many people, and I talked to Cheetah Rivera, and like I felt like I could be like, "Hi, I'm Hailey Kilgore, I'm a Tony nominee," and people were like, "Oh yes, of course, yeah." I felt like it was like Cinderella.
You don't have to explain yourself anymore.
I was okay, cool until midnight. When I went
Still
to
are.
Well, thank you.
You're still an it girl. You're an it girl.
I don't know about that, but
That's amazing.
Okay, we have to let you go. This has already run over. We could have you here forever. Hailey Kilgore, go see her in Once on This Island if you haven't. She's back on the island with the goats and everybody, having fun. The eyebrows.
I know, except for now he's gonna do that tonight. And I'm gonna be like
specialography tonight. Thank you so much for being here, and everyone. Thank you for watching, and go see Once on This Island. Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to all of our past interviews in podcast form by searching for #live@5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Bryce Pinkham about his important work with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.